The building blocks of learning how to draw realistically is learning how to draw 3D shapes or three-dimensional shapes. And if you look around your house, you are going to see a lot of 3D shapes. Anybody know what 3D shape these items are? That's right, cylinders. What about this guy? It's not quite a cube, it's almost a cube. It's a rectangular prism. And what about these? You might think that these are cylinders, but they're actually truncated cones. So if these sides kept going, eventually they would touch and they would make a cone shape, but it's like a cone that they cut off the top. Everywhere you look, you're gonna find 3D shapes. So get out your sketchbooks, folks. We are gonna draw 3D shapes. Hello, my talented artists. Don't forget to subscribe. It's wonderful to support the arts. Turn to a blank page and I want you to write 3D shapes. Go ahead, folks, pick up a pencil and write 3D shapes. The foundation for drawing 3D shapes is your regular geometric shapes and of course organic shapes. We're going to start with 3D geometric shapes. We also need to know about what the word parallel means. So let's write parallel at the bottom here. Does anybody know how to describe or how to define parallel? Nice discussion, artists. So to summarize, parallel lines are lines that are in the same plane that are equal distance from each other and never meet. So now the quiz. Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Are these parallel lines? Yes or no? Good job. What about these lines? Are these parallel lines? Yes or no? That's right. Are these parallel lines? Nice work. Are these parallel lines? Good. What about these lines? Are these parallel? Bravo, my darlings. It's good to know what parallel lines are. They're very important for drawing 3D shapes. So if I was going to draw the parallel lines, you can actually see parallel lines in my sketchbook because I use notebook paper. They are always the same distance from each other. They never cross over or meet. Let's start with a cube or a rectangular prism. We're going to start by just drawing a square. Go ahead and pick up a pencil and draw the best square you can. Don't worry too much because it's in your sketchbook. And here's where the parallel lines are really important. I want you to choose a corner and I want you to draw a diagonal line coming from that corner. If you want it to be a cube, then it should be just a little bit shorter than these lines. It may look like a rectangular prism, but it's all the same concept, so that is fine. Now we're going to draw two more lines that are diagonal, and they must be parallel. This is where you might make a mistake. I don't want you to cross anything out in your sketchbook. If you make a mistake, just redraw it the right way. You can draw 4 or 5 across your pages here. So parallel line means that the line I draw from this corner is going to be equidistant from this diagonal line. So let's see if I can do it. That's pretty good. It should also be the same length. Yeah, I think that looks parallel. We need 3 diagonal parallel lines coming from 3 corners. Whatever corner you began, whatever corner you drew that first diagonal line, you're going to do the 2 corners next to it. So again, it has to be parallel. Let's see if I can do another parallel line. And it should be the same length. This one looks a little bit longer to me, so I might just add a little bit. Okay, we are going to draw 2 more lines that will be parallel to another line in the drawing, and then we'll be done with our first cube. See this line right here? We are going to draw a line that is parallel to that line, connecting these 2 diagonal lines. And I'm going to connect these 2, but it has to be a line that's parallel to this line. That cube looks opaque. Anybody know what opaque means? Might as well define that one too. So somewhere else on your paper, maybe we'll just title it opaque cube. You can say opaque rectangular prism if yours looks more like that. Okay, opaque means light does not pass through it. Like you can't see through the walls. That's opaque. There's no light passing through it. So make sure we define that right here. Light cannot pass through it. Great. Now we're going to draw a transparent cube. If opaque means that light cannot pass through it, we're going to draw a cube that looks like it's made of glass or it's transparent in some way. What do you think transparent means? We'll write transparent up here. I want you to also write transparent somewhere on your 3D shape page. Go ahead and do that now. Good job. So transparent means allowing light to pass through it so that objects behind it can be distinctly seen, like a window. All right. So we are going to draw a transparent cube. So we're going to start with our square again. Go ahead and pick your pencil up and draw a square. We're going to draw the same square, same size square, just a little bit over. So you're going to just draw the same exact square a little bit over. They're going to overlap like that. And once you have that done, you will connect this corner to that corner, this corner to that corner. If you made your squares the same size, then the lines will be parallel. If you didn't, that's okay, because you've drawn another 3D shape. It might be a trapezoidal prism like the ones I'm showing you here. Just experiment. So there's our transparent cube. Great, so now we have 2 cubes. Next, we're going to do a cone. So we're just going to start with 2 sides of a triangle, or an angle. You're starting with an angle. And then at the bottom there, instead of a straight line, we're going to draw a curved line like that. It doesn't really look 3D as much as the cube does because it needs shading. Because this plane right here, it slowly curves, and that's how it changes direction, whereas the sharp outlines of these planes really translate well to make it look 3D. Of course, adding shading to any 3D line drawing is going to enhance the 3-dimensional illusion. You know what 3D means, folks? I know you do. We're going to say it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3-dimensional. Good. We'll talk about shading a cone later, but let's draw a transparent cone. This sort of helps give it a little more shape. This is an opaque cone. So again, remember, a cone can be any shape. This is sort of ice cream cone shaped, but you could draw an angle, any kind of angle. I could draw a long, skinny, acute angle. And now I'm going to draw my curve at the bottom. And to make it look transparent, I'm going to draw a little dotted line. Doesn't have to be dotted, it could just be a regular line. So you're making an oval at the bottom there. And it can be short, tall, narrow, wide. You can play around if you're getting ahead. Draw a few different 3D shapes. Experiment with your sizes. You can do different rectangular prisms or cubes. Experiment with proportion and size. It's fun. So that looks more transparent. All right, now we're coming to a cylinder, and we are going to start with any size oval. Now you guys are using pencil, and I want to encourage you that if you just kind of go over and over, you might make a smoother oval. I'm using marker so you can see, of course. Now, I want you to draw a dot at the very ends of the oval. And from that dot, we're going to go back to our parallel lines. You're going to draw 2 parallel lines. 1, 2. Okay? Now I want you to look carefully at this curve, because you want to recreate that curve perfectly at the bottom. It's a parallel curve. And now we have our opaque cylinder. All right, I bet you know how to draw a transparent looking cylinder. Let's try it. So of course, any oval will work. Here's a different oval, sort of at an angle. I'm going to draw 2 little dots the very edge of my oval, and then 2 parallel lines. Now I'm going to take this curve again. Actually, you know what? Look, this line is longer than this line. And you know what? That's okay, but that's absolutely fine, because if you're drawing from life, you might have some shapes that are formed like that. But we're going to just, since we're beginners, we're just going to make them the same length. And I'm going to take this curve, and I'm just going to try to recreate that curve, because curved lines can be different, right? So some curved lines could be a real shallow curve like that, and some curved lines could really bump out. So I want you to carefully investigate that line and recreate it. And that's it. That's how we draw our three. Oh, no, that's not it. We got to make this one transparent. Okay, I want you to guess. How do you make that transparent? Go ahead and draw it. Everybody's going to show me how you do it on your paper. Excellent. Hold up your sketchbooks. Let me take a look at them. Nice work. I just want to reinforce the idea that you're taking this curve and you're moving it down here. You can do a dotted line or a solid line, your choice. Now turn to an empty page in your sketchbook, and you are going to draw two large rectangles. You can see why I have you draw with pencil in your sketchbook, because you can kind of see the marker through the paper. But of course, I'm using pen so that you can see better. And so these are both two thumbnail sketches. And thumbnail sketches are just a plan for a larger artwork. I'll put a cone here. Mine just look like they're floating around. And remember, you can think about, well, do I want them all the same size? It's nice to have variation in your artworks. Overlapping is another nice element that creates interest, and it creates depth. So I'm going to make a cube underneath, or a rectangular prism behind these other 3D drawings. Maybe I'll do a little line there. Okay, well, I have two thumbnail sketches with two different compositions. The composition, remember, is where you place the visual elements. I am looking forward to see what you do in your thumbnail sketches.